Chef Scones is supernatural in The Brownie Case. Act 1. The Call to London. The Impala roared down the M25, its classic rock playlist rattling the quiet English countryside. Bream Worcester adjusted the rearview mirror with a practiced flick, his leather jacket creaking as they leaned back into the seat. Beside him, Sam Worcester scrolled through an ancient-looking tome, his brow furrowed in concentration. "So let me get this straight," Bream began, his eyes scanning the road. "Some hotshot Chef Gouda Lamsey type calls us all the way to London because his souffle keeps falling?" Sam smirked but didn't look up. "Not quite. Chef Jelly Olive Herb, Michelin star, claims his kitchen is cursed. Ingredients spoiling, recipes going haywire, and his reputation, well, it's in the blender." "A cursed kitchen," Bream chuckled. "What's next? Haunted silverware?" Sam's expression sobered. "It's serious, Bream. He's had to cancel reservations, refund bookings. Whatever's going on isn't just bad luck. If we don't help, he'll lose everything." "Fine," Bream sighed, tapping the steering wheel. "But if it turns out to be some kid pulling pranks, I'm ordering the biggest steak this guy can cook and calling it even." Act 2. The Haunted Kitchen. The olive herb estate loomed like a shadow against the gray London sky. Inside, the kitchen was a battlefield of culinary chaos. Spilled flour, shattered eggshells, and a faint, sour odor of curdled cream. "Mr. Oliver," Sam greeted the harried chef, whose pristine white jacket was smeared with evidence of his failed attempts. "We're here to help. Can you tell us exactly what's been happening?" Jelly wrung his hands. "It's as if the kitchen itself has turned against me. Sugar swapped with salt, my yeast refuses to rise, and my finest cheese spoiled overnight." Bream wandered over to a counter, inspecting a suspiciously blackened loaf of bread. "And this started when?" "About a fortnight ago," Jelly said, his voice trembling. "Ever since I moved in. The previous owner, he always spoke of leaving offerings in the kitchen, but I thought it was just an old wives' tale." Sam's head snapped up. "Offerings?" Jelly nodded. "A dish of milk and bread. Said it kept the spirits happy. I didn't bother. I'm a man of science, not superstition." Sam exchanged a look with Bream. "Sounds like we're dealing with a brownie." "A brownie?" Bream raised an eyebrow. "Aren't those the little guys who clean your house if you leave them snacks?" Sam nodded. "Exactly. But neglect them, or worse, insult them, they can turn your life into a living hell. Swapping ingredients, spoiling food, classic brownie mischief." Bream gestured to the wrecked kitchen. "So what? We just bake it a loaf and call it good?" Sam frowned. "It's not that simple. Brownies are picky. The dish has to be just right. If it's not, you only make things worse." "Great," Bream muttered. "Where do we even start?" Sam pulled out his phone, scrolling rapidly. "There's a culinary detective nearby, Chef Scones. If anyone can figure out what a brownie wants, it's him." Act 3. Enter Chef Scones. The small but impeccably tidy office of Chef Scones was a stark contrast to the chaos they had just left. The scent of freshly baked bread and herbs filled the air as Chef tall, wiry, and dressed in a crisp chef's coat, studied them with piercing eyes. "Mr. Worcester, Mr. Worcester," he said, nodding to each in turn. "To what do I owe the pleasure?" Bream gestured vaguely. "We've got a pissed-off brownie trashing a chef's kitchen, and we need to know what to feed it to make it stop." Chef lips curled into a faint smile. "A brownie? Fascinating. And the kitchen. Did you notice any particular patterns, specific substitutions or spoilage? Sam chimed in. Salt swapped for sugar, yeast refusing to rise, cream curdling. Chef Locke's eyes narrowed as he leaned back, his fingers steepled. Classic signs of mischief indeed. Brownies often favored dishes rooted in tradition and simplicity. Milk and bread were likely the foundation, but the execution matters. Was the bread enriched? Was the milk spiced or sweetened? Bream shrugged. You're the expert, that's why we're here. Chef Locke stood, his movements brisk and purposeful. Then let us waste no time. Dr. Dimsung, prepare the kitchen. We're crafting an offering that no brownie can resist. Act 4. The Perfect Offering. Back at the olive herb estate, Chef Locke took command of the kitchen. His sharp eyes missed nothing as he inspected the ingredients, discarding those he deemed subpar. Brownies are creatures of habit and sentiment, he explained as he worked. Their offerings must not only nourish, but evoke comfort. We shall prepare an enriched milk loaf, lightly spiced and served with clotted cream. Dimsung measured flour with care while Bream and Sam watched, bemused. He always like this, Bream muttered. Every time, Dimsung replied with a grin. As the loaf baked, filling the kitchen with its warm, spiced aroma, Chef Locke prepared a simple bowl of cream, sweetened with just a hint of honey. When the loaf emerged, golden and perfect, he plated it alongside the cream and set it in the center of the kitchen. The room fell silent. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, with a faint shimmer, a small, wiry figure appeared. Its eyes gleamed with mischief. Ah, Chef Locke said softly. Welcome, friend. We hope this meets your expectations. The brownie sniffed the air, its expression shifting from suspicion to delight. It approached the offering, taking a delicate bite. A hum of satisfaction filled the room as the creature vanished, leaving only the faintest trace of laughter. Well, Bream said, clapping his hands, guess that's a wrap. Chef Locke turned, a twinkle in his eye. Another case solved. Shall we toast with tea?